The first time you see it, you almost miss it. You're on the rooftop of your estate in Ecbatana, 3 hours past midnight, doing what you do every night, logging star positions onto a clay tablet with a reed stylus. You've done this for 26 years. You know the sky the way a sailor knows coastline. Every fixed star, every wandering star, every cycle. And then there's something that shouldn't be there. Low on the western horizon, brighter than Ishtar's star. Not a comet, no tail, not a conjunction, wrong position. You check your records, check them again. Nothing in 26 years of data accounts for this. You don't sleep that night. You need to understand what you are before any of this makes sense. The Greeks call you magoi. The Persians call you magush. You are not a wizard. You are not a mystic. You are a priest-scholar of the Zoroastrian tradition, trained since age 7 in astronomy, medicine, dream interpretation, and the sacred texts. You read Aramaic, Old Persian, and enough Greek to trade insults with Seleucid merchants. You serve as an advisor to the Parthian court. When the king needs to know whether a military campaign aligns with celestial favor, he asks you. You are, in the language of your time, one of the most educated men alive, and you have no explanation for what is in the sky. Within 9 days, 2 letters arrive. The first is from Balthazar. You've known him for 15 years. He operates out of Sheba, the southern Arabian trade route. Spices, frankincense, gold dust. He's wealthy beyond reason and sharp enough to have mapped stellar anomalies across 3 decades of desert travel. His letter is 4 lines. I see it. You see it. We need to talk. The second is from Melchior, older, based near Persepolis. He trained under the same master you did. His letter is longer, more careful. He quotes a Hebrew text he's been studying, a prophecy from a man called Balaam. A star shall come out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel. He's been cross-referencing Hebrew writings with Babylonian astronomical records for over a decade. His conclusion is specific. This star marks the birth of a king. Not a Parthian king, not a Roman king. A Jewish king. One the Hebrew texts have predicted for centuries. You agree to meet in Seleucia within 40 days. The journey from Ecbatana to Seleucia takes 12 days by caravan. You bring 6 servants, 4 camels, 2 donkeys loaded with astronomical instruments, and a sealed chest containing your gift. Gold. Not decorative gold. Treasury gold. 40 pounds of it. Enough to fund a small army for a year. This is not a casual offering. This is a political statement. You are recognizing a sovereign. Balthazar brings frankincense, 16 amphorae of pure Boswellia sacra resin, worth more per ounce than silver. It's a priestly gift, reserved for temples and consecration rites. Melchior brings myrrh, and when you see it, something shifts in your chest. Myrrh is burial spice, embalming resin. It's what you pack around a body before you seal the tomb. You don't ask Melchior why. He doesn't explain. But the 3 gifts together tell a story none of you say out loud. King, priest, and dead man. You leave Seleucia heading west. The route is 1,100 miles. You cross the Euphrates at Zeugma, where the Roman and Parthian empires meet at a bridge that both sides claim and neither fully controls. Your Parthian credentials get you through. Barely. A Roman centurion holds your caravan for 6 hours while he sends a rider to confirm you're not a military delegation. You're not. But you understand why he's nervous. 3 high-ranking Parthian officials crossing into Roman territory with a treasury's worth of gifts, following a celestial sign toward Judea. This is exactly the kind of thing that starts wars. From Zeugma, you follow the trade road south through Syria, Aleppo, Hama, Damascus. The terrain shifts from river valley to desert to rocky highland. You travel at night when you can, partly for the heat, partly because you need to see the star. It moves. not like a planet, not like anything in your records. It holds position in the sky relative to your destination, not relative to the fixed stars. You've spent your entire adult life studying celestial mechanics, and this object is not obeying them. You document everything. You say nothing about the fear. 60 days in, you reach the border of Judea, and here is where the journey changes from astronomical expedition to something else entirely. Judea is a Roman client state ruled by Herod, a man who murdered his own wife, drowned his brother-in-law in a swimming pool, and executed 3 of his sons on suspicion of conspiracy. Augustus Caesar himself once said, "It's safer to be Herod's pig than Herod's son." This is who controls the land you're entering. You don't go around him. You go directly to Jerusalem, directly to Herod's palace. This is not naivety. This is protocol. You are foreign dignitaries following a celestial sign that points to a newborn king of the Jews. If you bypass Herod and he finds out later, and he will find out, your entire caravan dies on the road home. So you present yourselves openly. You ask the question plainly, "Where is the one-born king of the Jews?" The court goes silent, not quiet, silent, the kind of silence that has weight. Herod smiles. He calls in his own scholars, chief priests and scribes who know the Hebrew texts better than anyone in the kingdom. He asks them the question as if he's mildly curious. They answer immediately. Bethlehem. The prophet Micah wrote it down 700 years ago. Bethlehem Ephrathah, 5 miles south of where you're standing. Then Herod pulls you aside, privately, away from his court. He asks you exactly when the star appeared. He's precise about it. He wants dates. You give them, because refusing a direct question from Herod in his own palace is not something you do twice. He tells you to go to Bethlehem, find the child, then come back and tell him exactly where the child is, so he can go worship too. You are a man who has spent decades reading the intentions of kings. You know what worship looks like, and you know what this is. This is a location request for an assassination. Bethlehem is small, maybe 300 people. You arrive after dark and the star does something it has never done in the months you've tracked it. It stops, not sets, not fades. It holds position directly over a specific structure, a house on the southern edge of the village. Not an inn, not a stable, a house. By the time you arrive, the family has moved from wherever the birth happened into a modest stone dwelling. You dismount. Your legs are ruined from months of travel. Your hands are cracked from desert air. You've crossed 1,100 miles of contested territory, bluffed your way past Roman checkpoints, sat across from one of the most dangerous men in the ancient world, and followed an object in the sky that defies every law of astronomy you've spent your life mastering. The door opens, and there's a woman, young, maybe 16. Behind her, a man, a craftsman by the look of his hands, and on her lap, a child, maybe a year old, maybe less. The room is 10 feet across, packed earth floor, a single oil lamp. You, a man who has counseled the Parthian king, who has mapped the heavens across 3 decades, who carries 40 pounds of treasury gold on the back of a camel. You kneel on the dirt floor of this room. Balthazar kneels beside you. Melchior, whose joints haven't bent easily in years, goes down hard on both knees. You don't kneel because someone told you to. You kneel because everything, the star, the texts, the impossible convergence of Zoroastrian prophecy and Hebrew scripture and Babylonian astronomical record, everything points to this room. This child. You present the gold. Balthazar opens the frankincense. Melchior sets the myrrh at the mother's feet, and her eyes stay on it a moment too long. She knows what myrrh is for. That night you dream, all 3 of you, the same dream, a direct, specific warning. Do not go back to Herod. Do not return to Jerusalem. Take a different route home. You leave before dawn. South through the Negev, then east across the Arabah, bypassing Jerusalem entirely. It adds 3 weeks to the journey. You don't care. Later, weeks, maybe months after you cross back into Parthian territory, word reaches you from Judea. Herod, unable to locate the child, issued an order. Every male child in Bethlehem under the age of 2, killed. Soldiers went house to house. The number is small by the standards of ancient atrocity. Maybe 15, 20 children in a village that size. But the screaming carried, and the dates Herod used to set the age threshold, under 2 years, those were your dates, the ones you gave him in that private meeting. Your information, his sword. The family escaped. Someone warned them too, the same way you were warned. They fled to Egypt. The child survived. But you carry the rest of it home with you, every mile.